Hello. Welcome once again to Denton's Story Time. And what do I have for you this time for your edification and enlightenment? Well, a very controversial topic, the Skjaldmaerja, or which is plural, or Skjaldmær singular, the Shieldmaidens. Yes, the Shieldmaidens. Did they actually exist? Or are they simply a product of romantic fiction, more akin to the Amazons of Greek myth or to the Valkyria than actual historical fact? Well, the answer is no, they didn't. It's total rubbish. What a ridiculous idea. Shieldmaidens. I ask you. And, well, yes, actually they did. Oh, yes, talk about hedging your bets. So, yes, they did exist. The concept of warrior women existed in the sagas, and there is historical evidence for that from the historian Saxo Grammaticus, writing in his Gesta Danorum, the history of the Danes, circa 1200 A.D. And he tells us, and I quote, "There were once women in Denmark who dressed themselves to look like men, and spent almost every minute cultivating soldier skills. They courted military expertise so earnestly that anyone would have guessed that they had unsexed themselves. Those especially who had forceful personalities, who were tall and elegant, tended to embark on this way of life. They put toughness before allure. They aimed at conflicts instead of kisses, and desired not the couch, but the kill. And those they could have appeased with looks, they attacked with lances." That's pretty heavy stuff. This isn't, you see, just a saga fairy tale. No, it's historical fact. And Saxo didn't invent the story, because you see he disliked the whole idea of women in combat. Oh yes, he couldn't stand it, despite his account of their seeming military prowess. And later in his Gesta Danorum he says about the warrior women that they, and I quote, "put their hands to the lance which they should rather have applied to the loom." Well, of course, there were only women. They should have stuck to women's things, weaving and knitting and sewing and making babies and all that. But things that women should do. Yes, charming. The fact, you see, that he didn't approve of it, felt it was wrong and unwomanly, yet stressed the fighting ability of those women, well, that actually gives credence to the story. Why would he invent something that he disapproved of and then write about it in a way that made those women look good? No. He certainly wouldn't have done that. Women are mentioned in the sagas as fighting quite frequently, which is a yes to the concept. And these women, you see, they're not shown as being defeated or incompetent. They never need to be rescued by the men. In fact, they usually are on the winning side, which one might expect in stories from a very macho, male-dominated society like the Old Norse. If we look at the Amazons of ancient Greece, great warriors, though they are, oh yes, they're magnificent warriors, but they're always beaten in the end by the men, because the Greeks were not going to have women actually winning and beating men. Oh, God, you couldn't have that sort of thing. But now, in the Volsunga saga, Gudrun dons armor, she picks up a sword, and she joins her brothers Gunnar and Hogni in battle, fighting alongside them, yet neither they nor anyone else seems to see anything unusual in that. In the saga of Ragnar Lothbrok, we see that when his two sons by his first wife, Thora, no, sorry, Viking TV show fans, Ragnar was never married to Lagertha. No, sorry about that. But of course, since he is a fictional character who never actually existed, one could say he was probably never married to anyone. But anyway, when those sons are killed in Sweden, his second wife, Oslo, goes as a warrior with her sons by Ragnar to avenge them, she wearing chainmail and leading a large force overland as her sons go by sea. Would the oh-so-macho Norse have made up sagas like that if women never did those things, painting them as men's equals? Surely not. Then there's the very ferocious Frøydis Eriksdottir, sister of Leif Erikson and 8 months pregnant at the time, running out, shouting at the men as they retreated from Native Americans, "Why run ye away from such worthless creatures? Stout men that ye are! Well, it seems to me likely you might slaughter them like so many cattle. Let me but have a weapon, I think I could fight them better than any of you." Like Gudrun, she picked up a sword one of the men had dropped, and she charged at the Indians, bare-breasted and screaming a battle cry, driving them off. A woman shown as being braver and more aggressive than the men? Well, there's a thing. Hardly very macho, is it? In 971 AD, a historical fact, not a saga story, Svatoslav I of Kiev, ruler of the Kievan Rus, invaded Bulgaria, and Byzantine accounts tell of his bringing armoured female warriors in his army. Historical fact. But the television show Vikings, hardly a bastion of fact at the best of times, took the concept and had armies of women on both sides in every battle, trolling off to war with banners flapping in the breeze, banging on drums and blowing horns, armed to the teeth, matching shields. You see, that's where the no comes in. While Saxo's Danish women, and the equally historic ones with the Rus, were professional soldiers, they were unique groups. They were not the norm. Most of the others were individual women who took up arms for a reason, like Gudrun or Freudis, and they were a small minority of the warriors, both in the sagas and in historic reality. Now, that in no way diminishes their actual existence nor their fighting ability. And archaeological evidence also proved that point. Women buried with combat, not hunting weapons. So the bottom line is, yes, take a bow, girls, the Shieldmaidens did exist, if not the way they are often represented in TV. But again, that's hardly unusual for Hollywood, is it? Did they ever get anything right? So, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Or rather, you will see me, and, no, you know what I mean. Bye for now.